Good morning viewers. Today I am going to talk about the subject financial management. This is for the final year diploma students of mechanical engineering. Now let us go into the subject of financial management. The aim of any business is to earn maximum profits. Now how to get maximum profits? To get maximum profits, every businessman or every industrialist will have to concentrate on various areas like say the production, the purchases, the sales, etc., the stores, etc. So a businessman has to concentrate on all these fields, but equally important is the most important aspect or the most important area, which is money, the money management or the financial management. Now the success of any industry depends upon the able and efficient management or the efficiency of the manager. Now for a manager to be very efficient, he has to have various skills. He has to have, of course, his engineering skills, but he also has to combine his knowledge of accountancy, the principles of accountancy and the areas of financial management. Only then will he be a successful industrialist and the industry will run successfully. So financial management is a very important area as far as the success of industry is concerned. So let us now see what are the various aspects of financial management. Financial management involves number 1, preparation of financial statements, and number 2, analysis of financial statements. So as we see here, financial management involves 2 steps. The first aspect is preparation of financial statements. Now what are these financial statements and how to prepare them? We will see all these things later on. So firstly we will see what is the first step, that is the preparation of financial statements. Every industry has to prepare so many financial statements and has to prepare so many accounts. Okay, that is the first aspect. But by merely preparing these financial statements, is it enough? No, it is not. You have to analyze these financial statements and you should see, suppose by preparing financial statements you will understand that you have got so and so figure of profit or your sales figure is this much, but is it enough? No, it is not. What you have to do is you have to analyze and compare and get a perfect view about your business, where your business is going. Suppose you have found out, after analysis you have found out that you have got a profit which is lesser than a profit of last year. So analysis of financial statements is also very important, because unless and until you analyze you cannot take proper decisions. So financial management involves 2 major aspects. One is preparation of financial statements, and the other one is the analysis of these financial statements. So let us now first see what is the preparation of financial statements. Preparation of financial statements involves number 1, bookkeeping, and number 2, accountancy. So as we have seen here, the financial statements, the preparation of financial statements involves 2 aspects. The first aspect is the bookkeeping and the second aspect is accountancy. When we hear, we find that both are same, but there is lot of difference between bookkeeping and accountancy. Firstly, bookkeeping is in a raw form. That means, what is actually bookkeeping? When we are preparing account, when we are doing some business, we maintain various books, because a businessman cannot remember all the transactions, so he has to definitely note them down somewhere. So that is nothing but maintaining bookkeeping or books of accounts. That is fine. But bookkeeping is in a raw form. It does not follow any principles or rules. So bookkeeping is in a raw form. Whereas coming to accountancy, accountancy involves various principles, various rules. So bookkeeping is in a raw form, whereas accountancy follows particular rules and regulations. So let us now concentrate on the first aspect, which is bookkeeping. Bookkeeping, it is correctly recording of all business transactions in a chronological order. So here we have to concentrate on two aspects. One is, bookkeeping is correctly recording of all business transactions. What is correctly? You should not make any false statements or false entries in your books. When we see a particular transaction in our books, how can we say that it is correct? Only by having some proof. What is the proof? So the proof are nothing but the vouchers, bills, etc. Suppose you are purchasing anything, definitely you should preserve the bill. You should keep the bill. Suppose you have given some company, some other company or some other individual some amount. So take the receipt. So whatever entries you make in the books should be supported by the proof. Then only they are said to be correctly recording. The other important aspect which we have to see in this bookkeeping definition is, the transactions must be entered in chronological order. What do you mean by chronological? Chronological means date wise. It should be according to dates. If any transaction or any event occurs in your business, immediately that transaction or that event must be recorded then and there, immediately. So on the same date. Tomorrow again some other event is happening. Suppose today you have purchased goods, record it immediately. Tomorrow you have purchased machinery, record it in tomorrow's date. So bookkeeping is, as we have seen, bookkeeping is correctly recording of all business transactions in a chronological order or the date wise. Now coming to the second aspect, which is accountancy. So let us now see what accountancy means. Accountancy, it is a process of recording, classifying, summarizing the transactions and interpreting the results thereof. So what is accountancy? It is a process of recording, classifying, summarizing the transactions and interpreting the results thereof. It is a process of recording. You first record all the books. That is done in bookkeeping also. Recording is done in bookkeeping also. So what is big about accountancy? Now in accountancy, what you do is you also classify the various transactions according to different types of accounts. What are the different types of accounts? We are going to see in the next few minutes. Okay. So you first record the transactions, classifying them by classifying according to different types and summarizing the transactions. Summarizing is very important. Suppose you have done business for 1 month. Now you want to see how many sales you have made. How do you know? So you summarize. You get a summary of the total of the sales figure. If you see your sales account, you get a summary. So accounting is summarizing the transactions. Okay. And interpreting the results thereof. Interpret, you deduce, you make some conclusions. Interpreting the results thereof. By merely recording, it is not enough. After all, you are doing all these things for decision making, to take some important decisions in your business. But without coming to some conclusion, how can you take a decision? So decision making is also, interpretation is very helpful for decision making. Now all this while I have been mentioning a word, transaction. Have you got a doubt what exactly transaction means? Now transaction. So let us see what is the actual meaning of transaction. Transaction. It is an economic event which involves transfer of money or money's worth. So here we have to see two aspects in the definition of transaction. So first aspect is transaction is an economic event. It is an event, of course, something is happening in your business, but it should be economic event which is connected with money. That is the first aspect, which involves transfer of money or money's worth. You have to transfer. What is this transferring? Transferring means nothing but you can purchase or sale. Both are said to be transferring. So a transaction is an economic event which involves transfer of money or money's worth. Transfer, you are transferring, you are either giving money or taking money. Now not only money, you are giving and taking both money as well as money's worth, something which is having the worth of money. Suppose you are purchasing a machinery, it is having some value in terms of money. Immediately we will say what is the cost of machinery. So machinery is worth 25,000, worth 30,000. That means it is having the worth of money. So transaction is an economic event which is having the money, transfer of money or money's worth. So we have now understood about the basic terms of financial management. So proceeding a bit further, we will see what are the actual systems of accounting. Systems of accounting. Number one, single entry system. Number two, double entry system. So there are, as we see here, there are two systems of accounting. The first one is the single entry system and the second one is the double entry system. Single entry system is a system which used to be followed once upon a time, but now in India we are following only the double entry system of bookkeeping and accountancy. So now what is single entry system? Suppose we have purchased machinery. We will record according to the single entry system that we have purchased machinery. So in the machinery account we will add one more item. That is enough. Okay. But we are forgetting the most important aspect, which is cash. The minute you purchase machinery, you are immediately paying cash, is it not? So cash is going out of the business. You are paying cash. You have to reduce your cash balance. Suppose previously you had cash balance of say 1 lakh. You have purchased machinery worth 25,000. Now your latest cash balance should show only rupees 75,000. But if you are not recording this second aspect, which is cash, then your accounts are false. You are showing the wrong accounts and the wrong profit figure. So single entry system is not a foolproof or a correct system to follow. That is why we follow only the double entry system of bookkeeping. So what is double entry system? Double entry system records both the aspects of a particular transaction. For every transaction there will be two aspects. One is the receiving aspect and the other one is the giving aspect. Suppose we are receiving something, that is, say as I said you, as I told you, we have purchased machinery. Okay, we are receiving machinery. But what is happening to our cash? We have to definitely record the cash aspect also. So double entry system of bookkeeping records the double effect. That is the twofold effect it records. It shows that machinery account is increased by 25,000. One more item is added in our machinery account. But at the same time it reduces the cash balance also. So that is the importance of the double entry system of bookkeeping. So let us now actually see. Till now I have been saying accounting process, accounting, preparation of accounts and all these things. So let us see what exactly is the process of accounting or the accounting process. Accounting process. Firstly, you will have some business transactions. So first thing is there will be a particular transaction like purchased machinery or sold goods, anything. It can be any event in your business. So first step is there will be a transaction. After by seeing that transaction, what you do is you prepare the journal. You write the journal entries. What is a journal? What is its format? All this we are going to see in next few minutes. So journal, it is a book of original entry. So you are going to prepare the journal. By writing all the journal entries in the book of journal, the first step is over. Then we come to the second step, which is the ledger. Ledger, this is a book which contains a list of all the accounts in the business. So what is a ledger? It is a ledger, it is a book which contains or which maintains all the accounts which are maintained in that particular business. So by seeing the journal, we will prepare the ledger. All these are interlinked. So from the ledger, we are going to prepare one more statement, which is called the trial balance. Trial balance. What is a trial balance? Trial balance is a statement which contains all the balances of various ledger accounts. You prepare ledger accounts and you balance them. How you are going to prepare ledger and how you are going to balance, we will definitely go through in the next sessions. So after balancing, balancing all the ledger accounts, you extract or you take the various balances from these ledger accounts and post them or write them in the statement called trial balance. So in the trial balance, there will be two columns, the debit column and the credit column, and just for your information I am telling you that both the total of the both columns will be same. Okay, anyhow we are going to see the details in the coming sessions. So next we are going to see from the trial balance what step we are going to take. Trial balance. From trial balance we prepare the final accounts. The final accounts are the main aim, preparation of final accounts. Let me tell you one thing. Generally accounts are prepared at the end of each year. Usually every business prepares accounts, the final accounts at the end of the year. Here year means we are talking about the financial year. There are various types of years, like the calendar year means January 1st to December 31st. Financial year usually begins on 1st April and ends on 31st March of next year. Usually every business will follow the financial year instead of the calendar year. So at the end of the financial year, that is on 31st March, they sit together and prepare the final accounts. So let us see what are the various final accounts. Final accounts. In final accounts, basically we prepare two statements. One is the trading and P&L account. P&L account means profit and loss account, and the second statement is the balance sheet. These are the two main statements which are prepared in final accounts. Trading account and profit and loss account give us the figure of profit or loss earned for that particular year. So you do the business for entire year and then you will know, finally you have to know whether you got profit or loss. Naturally every businessman will be eager to know how much profit he got. So by looking at trading and profit and loss account, we can know our profit or loss figure, net profit or loss figure. Coming to balance sheet. This is a statement which gives about the financial position of the business. The entire financial position of the business can be understood by merely looking at this statement, which is called balance sheet. In the balance sheet, you will have the various assets and liabilities. Assets means the various properties owned by the business. Every business may have various assets, various properties like land, buildings, machinery, furniture. All these are the assets. The cash balance, bank balance, all these are the various assets of the business. Then it also records the liabilities part. Liabilities means the amounts which a business owes to outside parties. Like suppose the businessman has taken loan from a bank, then that is a liability. You have to repay, you have to give the amount back. So the balance sheet it prepares a list of various assets and liabilities. And one more important aspect which we find in the balance sheet is the capital. The capital introduced by the proprietor or owner of the business. Capital. So balance sheet mainly contains three important aspects: the capital, the assets and liabilities. Finally, when you look at the balance sheet, both sides of the balance sheet will tally. Tally means they will be same. Okay. Now we have prepared the final accounts. That is fine. But what is the use? By simply preparing the final accounts and keeping with us, it is not enough. We have understood the profit figure, we have understood the assets, we have understood the liabilities. But what is the use? Simply it is not enough to know the profit figure. We have to proceed further. The further step is analysis, interpretation and decision making. These are the very important aspects of preparing. The main purpose of preparing these accounts is to analyze, to take some important decisions. So for taking important decisions, we have to first analyze. Analysis. Suppose you have got a profit figure which is less than last year. So you analyze and try to find out the reasons. Next step is interpretation. You interpret, you come to some conclusions, and then finally you take the decisions. Decision making, which is the main important aspect in our financial management. Now, to prepare these financial statements, as I told you, in the definition of accounting only, one of the important aspects is classifying, summarizing, classifying, recording, all these aspects. So classifying, you classify the accounts into various, according to the various types. So let us now see what are the various types of accounts. Types of accounts. Number 1, personal accounts. Number 2, real accounts. And number 3, nominal accounts. Personal accounts. So as we have seen here, there are basically 3 types of accounts. The first type is the personal accounts, the second type is the real accounts, and the third one is the nominal accounts. Let us proceed a little further about understanding what these types of accounts mean. What are the various rules connected to these type of accounts? Personal accounts. Personal account relates to accounts of persons, firms or companies. So personal account relates to accounts of persons, firms or companies. Now in a business we will be dealing with various persons, or we will be dealing with various companies, or we will be dealing with various firms. So put all the transactions relating to all these particular individuals and companies in one place, that is in the head personal account. We can take examples here. Example: Mohan account, Ravi Enterprises Limited account, Rakesh and Company Private Limited account. So these are the various examples of personal accounts. You deal with persons, firms or companies. Now for any type of account there is a particular rule. So let us now see what is the rule of personal account. Rule: debit the receiver, credit the giver. As I told you, according to the double entry system, every transaction will have the twofold effect, two effects, that is, one is the receiving aspect and the other one is the giving aspect. So in one aspect is called the debit and the other aspect is called the credit. So the rule of each type of account says whether you have to debit a particular item or account or credit it. So the rule of the personal account, as we have seen here, is debit the receiver and credit the giver. Suppose I have given 5,000 rupees to Mr. Mohan. So Mr. Mohan is the receiver here. So debit the receiver. Suppose I have taken some 10,000 rupees from X Company Limited. So X Company Limited is the giver here. So credit the giver. Like that we have to go by the rule. Let us now proceed with the second type of account, which is called the real account. Real account relates to accounts of assets and liabilities. Real account relates to the accounts of assets and liabilities. Examples: cash account, machinery account, loan from bank account, etc. As we are seeing here, as we have already discussed also, every business will have some assets and some liabilities. You may have various assets in your business like the cash, the bank balance, machinery, furniture, etc. So these are the various assets in your business. Similarly, every business will have some liabilities. So put all the assets and liabilities under the head real account. Examples here are cash, machinery, loan from bank, loan from XYZ, anything. So depending upon whether it is an asset or a liability, you show it under the head real account. So let us now see what is the rule of real account. Rule: debit what comes in and credit what goes out. This is the rule of the real account. Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. If an item is coming into your business, immediately debit that item. It is as simple as that. And if an item is going out of your business, just credit it, put it on the credit side. So we have seen till now two types of accounts. Let us now proceed with the third type of account, which is called the nominal account. Nominal account relates to accounts of expenses and losses and incomes and gains. So what does nominal account relate to? It relates to the accounts of expenses and losses and incomes and gains. What can be the various expenses? Salaries, loss due to fire. This is not an expense but it is a loss. Interest received account. You are receiving something. It is an income. Suppose you have gained something out of your business. So show all the expenses and losses and incomes and gains. You will have many more expenses. Suppose you have purchased goods, you have purchased stationery, purchased machinery, and you will have so many incomes, like you may receive rent for your premises which you have let out, or you may receive interest on your fixed deposits. Like that, every business will have various expenses and income. So expenses and losses, and not only expenses, there are many losses. There may be many losses in the business also, like loss due to fire or loss due to theft. If you are dealing with, say, some petroleum, loss due to evaporation. If you are dealing with oils and liquids, loss due to leakage. So many losses also will be there. So you record all the expenses and losses of the business as well as the incomes and gains of the business under the head nominal account. So let us now see what is the rule of nominal account. Rule: debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. So what does the rule of nominal account say? Debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains. So whatever are your expenses, you put them in the debit, and whatever are your incomes, put them in the credit. So we are ready with the various types of accounts now. So we are about to take the first step, which is the journal. So we will now first see what does the journal mean. Journal: it is a book of original entry of transactions. Very simply stating, a journal is nothing but a book of original entries. Whenever a transaction occurs, immediately it will be recorded in the book called journal. Okay, that is the first book. Next, we are going to see what is the actual format. Till now we have been talking that the journal is there, we will enter into journal, the journal is the original book of entry, all these things. So let us now see how a journal looks also. Before proceeding further, this is the time for question hour. If any of you are having any doubts or questions, you are please welcome. Meanwhile, till we get a question, we will proceed with the subject. Okay, so let us now see what is the actual format of a journal. Format of a journal. Firstly, there will be a heading. Journal entries in the books of dash. In this dash, you write the name of the firm or the business. So, this is the heading, journal entries in the books of dash, some XYZ company limited. Okay. Next, we will see what are the columns. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So, a journal is having 5 columns. The first column is for the date. We may think, what is big about it? We will simply write the date. No, there is a particular format also to write the date. The date is written in the year, month and date format. Suppose today's date we have to record as 2003 January 6th. Okay. So, this is the date column. Then the next column is for particulars. In the particulars column, there are 2 lines. The first line is for the debit and the second line is for the credit. The first line ends with the word DR. DR is the short form for debit, debtor. Then the second line is for the credit line. The credit line starts with the word to. Okay. So, this is the actual journal entry. So, the actual journal, there is also one more line here we are seeing. What is this? We see brackets and we see the word being with underline. So, this whole thing is called the narration. It is an explanation for this actual journal entry. For whatever you have written in the debit and credit columns, you are going to explain. This is the narration. So, the narration always starts with being. Suppose you have purchased machinery, same thing you are going to write here, being machinery purchased. So, this is called the narration. Next, we will go to the next column, which is the LF. The LF means ledger folio. Folio means page. Ledger folio number. Here we are going to write some page number. What is that page number? Which page number you are going to write? The page number which is found in the ledger book. Remember, from the journal we are going to proceed with the next step, which is the ledger. Every entry which is found in the journal will also be found in the ledger. So, this particular journal entry, where it is recorded in the ledger book, in which page must be written here for easy reference. So, this column is left for the page number of the ledger book, the folio number of the ledger book. Next 2 columns are for amount. So, first column is for debit amount and the second column is for credit amount. Okay, and we have written the letters rupees in both the columns commonly. Why? Because for each and every figure you need not repeat the word rupees.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, please.
If I purchase goods in industry,
Okay.
whether they should be entered in goods account or purchase account, madam?
Okay, the question is, when we purchase goods, do we have to enter in the goods account or the purchases account? Do we have to open? See, for every transaction we have to open accounts, 2 accounts, is it not? We have to open, whether we have to open the goods account or whether we have to open the purchases account. Usually the beginners will say goods. When we purchase goods, we will say goods account, we will open the goods account. But by meaning goods, it can include both credit purchases as well as cash purchases, and goods is a common term for goods purchased and goods sold. So, as you proceed further in the business, it becomes too clumsy. So, what you do is, all the purchases, sales, everything will be treated as goods. So, we will open purchases account instead of goods account. So, it is always better to open the purchases account instead of goods account. You open purchases account as well as the sales account. Okay. Proceeding further with the subject.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Hello, excuse me, madam?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Hello, madam?
Yes.
We are from K2 Government Polytechnic.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes.
can you give me the difference between a company and firm, madam?
Okay. Usually we treat companies as joint stock company. We use the word company for joint stock companies, and we use the word for the word firm for the partnership firms. If it is a partnership firm, if the business is having few partners, then we do not call it as a company, but we call it as a firm. And if it is a registered joint stock company, we call it a company. Company can be a private limited company or a public limited company. Okay. So let us now proceed further with our journal. So we have seen the format of journal, which is having the date, particulars, ledger folio, debit and credit. So this is the format of a journal. So let us now take an example transaction and see how to journalize it, how to pass the journal entry. So we will see the transaction. Transaction: purchased machinery on 1st January 2002 for rupees 20,000. This is the event, this is the transaction which has occurred, which has happened. Now we have to identify what are the two main accounts, because unless and until you know to which type of account it belongs and you know the rule, you cannot proceed further by writing the journal entry. So first we will identify what are the two types of accounts. The two accounts are, number one, machinery account, and the second account is the cash account. Definitely, because we have purchased machinery for rupees 20,000. When you are taking machinery, you are giving cash. So identify two accounts as number one, machinery account, and number two, the cash account. Okay, both are assets. Definitely machinery is also your asset and cash is also your asset. So they belong to real account. So here we have seen in the example transaction that purchased machinery involves two types of accounts. One is the machinery account and the other one is the cash account. Okay, so now we have to think about the rule. We know that it belongs to real account. Immediately think of the rule of real account. What is the rule of real account? The rule of real account is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. Okay, machinery is coming in, so debit machinery account. So what is going out? Yes, cash is going out, so credit cash account. So what is coming in and what is going out, and if it is coming in, what you have to do, all these things we have decided now. It is decided to debit the machinery account and credit the cash account. So we will take one more example, which is received cash from Mohan rupees 5,000 on 5th January 2002. So this is the transaction. Received cash from Mohan rupees 5,000 on 5th January 2002. Now I think you will be able to identify what are the two accounts. The two accounts are Mohan account and cash account. Yes, you are right. The two accounts are Mohan account and cash account. Mohan account is a personal account. See, a transaction can have two different types of accounts also. It need not always be like machinery and cash, both are assets. It need not be always the same case. The one account may be of one type and the other account may be of another type. So as we see here in our example, Mohan account is a personal account because Mohan is a person, an individual. Put all the accounts of individuals, firms and companies in one head, which is called the personal account, as we have already seen. Now the second account is the cash account because we have received cash from Mohan. The second account is the cash account. Cash account, what is the nature of cash account? The nature of cash account is real, it is an asset. So all assets come under the account real account, under the type real account. So what we have to do here? How to proceed further with this? Cash is coming in, so debit cash account. What is coming in? Cash. So what is the rule? Cash is an asset. So identify. Let us go step by step. Cash is an asset asset belongs to real account, and the rule of real account is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So we have to see here what is happening to cash. Here cash is coming in. So according to the rule of real account, debit the cash account. As simple as that. Now let us see what is happening, the position of the second account. Mohan is the giver. So credit Mohan account. So Mohan, what is the type of account here? Mohan is a personal account. So what is the rule of personal account? The rule of personal account is debit the receiver and credit the giver. So Mohan is the receiver or giver here? We have received from Mohan, so Mohan is the giver. So credit the account of Mohan, credit the giver's account. Similarly, we can see one more example with a transaction, which is transaction is paid salaries rupees 30,000 on 6th January 2002. This is the transaction given to us. Paid salaries 30,000 on 6th January 2002. Okay. Now you identify the two accounts. The two accounts are salaries account and cash account. Yes, when you are paying salaries, you pay salaries in which form? You pay in the form of cash, is it not? So you need not search for the other account. Definitely the other account is, one account is salaries, but the second account is the cash account. Okay, salaries account is nominal account. Yes, now you remember the third type of account, that is nominal account. What does nominal account say? Nominal account deals with the various expenses and losses and incomes and gains, is it not? So salaries is an expense or not? Yes, it is an expense of the business. So put it in the nominal account. And cash, cash is once again real account, as we have already seen. Cash is the real account. So salaries is a nominal. So in this transaction we have seen the two types of accounts. One is a nominal account and the other one is a real account. So how to proceed further? What to debit and what to credit? That we will see now. Salaries is an expense. So debit salaries account and cash is going out. So credit cash account. So first we will find out what we have to debit. Salaries. So once again come back with our procedure. Salaries. Salaries belongs to nominal account because it is an expense, and the rule of nominal account is debit all expenses and losses. So since salary is an expense, you debit the salaries account. Okay. Now coming to which account is to be credited. Naturally, if you debit one account, definitely you have to credit one more account. So cash. Cash is going out. According to, now what is cash? Cash is the real account. According to real account, the rule is debit what comes in and credit what goes out. So cash is going out of the business, so credit the cash account. So we have seen the third example also. So let us now actually write the journal entry. Okay. So let us proceed with the process of entering in the book of journal or the journal, writing the journal entry. This process of writing journal entry is called journalizing. So let us see. Journal entries in the books of dash, whatever company we are dealing with. Okay. In the date column, we will write the date 2002 January 1st. They are seeing our first example of purchasing machinery. We purchased machinery for 20,000 on January 1st 2000. That was our transaction, is it not? So in the date column we are writing 2002 January 1st. Now the second column is the particulars column. In the particulars column, as we said, there are two lines. The first line is for debit, second line is for credit. We have decided to debit machinery and credit cash in that particular transaction. So how you debit it? Debiting means machinery account debtor to cash account. The first line should end with debtor, second line should end with cash. So the journal entry is machinery account debtor to cash account. The narration is being machinery purchased for cash. Machinery is what is happening in this entry. You first write it in the form of a narration, and after each narration you draw a line so that next journal entry follows below this. Okay, ledger folio column we are leaving because actually when you maintain in the real accounts, whatever ledger book you are following, that number you will put. Debit amount, credit amount, naturally both these amounts will be same according to our double entry system of bookkeeping, because you are receiving machinery worth 20,000 and you are paying cash 20,000, naturally both the amounts have to be same. So this is how you write the journal entries. So in today's first session we have understood what are the various types of accounts and what is the actual process of journalizing. So we will proceed with the next accounting process in the next session. Thank you.